Welcome, Robert. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, not at all. So just like to find out, first of all, what did you have? Because you seem to be very well, very alert, very in very good health now. But at one stage you weren't. What was it like? What did you have, and what was your symptoms, and how was life?
Oh well, that should be easy to answer in the next couple hours. There's a lot of information there, but I'll get to it. First of all, I feel great this morning because I woke up with a beautiful, fresh green juice that I press myself. So that's how I start my day. But what my journey was is in January of December of 07, I went blind in my left eye. At that point in my life, I was about 220 pounds. I was covered, and I had psoriasis on my hands. I had migraines. I had very volatile behavior, and it was determined through MRIs and tests that I had multiple sclerosis, big patch of MS in my brain, which was a very, very difficult diagnosis. So around February of 08 is when I decided to, the day after my 42nd birthday, I decided to do something about it. And that's when I began to do some research. I began to read and try to figure out what was happening to me. Because in the first month of being diagnosed with MS, doctors didn't have a lot to tell me. Medications were horrible. Injectable medications that made me suicidal. I mean, there was a million side effects to the medications. I'm like, this cannot be my path for the rest of my life. So I started to read, and I started to learn about the body's ability to really heal itself, and to detox the body, and to get the chemicals and the waste and everything that was inside me, because it was there. Yeah. So that's how it all began.
What switched you on to that? Why didn't you just blindly follow the doctor's path, as many people do? What switched you on to actually empowering yourself?
Wow. I'd have to say that the first thing was my dad. My father died horribly in Sloan Kettering Cancer Hospital in Manhattan at the young age of 68 years old. I had a cousin that died in his 30s of cancer related. I had a lot of disease in my family, and then I'm like, well, what's my path going to be? How can I remember when my dad got sick, trying to read and trying to help him, and then I realized that when it was my turn, when I was when I was diagnosed with something, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, what's my path? And really, the doctors didn't have answers for me. When I asked them what medications I should take, well, they're like, oh, any one of them. Just any one of them should be all right. I didn't get much guidance. And my main question, this is the thing that set me off, was onto my path that I am today, was that no one could tell me why my immune system is attacking my nervous system, which is essentially what MS is. Yeah. And I kept saying, like, well, why is this happening? Well, we don't know, it just did, but this is how we treat it. We're going to just, take medications and watch out for your immune system and your MS. Let's just tiptoe around it. I'm like, I want to know why my immune system is freaking out. And I decided that I had no answers out there. And then I started going to groups with people with MS, and they were not encouraging. They were depressed. They were on medications for years and years and years. I met people that had diagnosed with MS many, many years before. Not encouraging. They're taking medications and they're getting worse. And I'm like, why is the immune system doing this? And then I sort of, after reading, I kind of determined that it's not much of a disease. It sounded to me, this is just my one man's opinion, it sounds like a malfunction. It sounds like my immune system is getting some really bad fuel or some bad chemicals. For it to be attacking my nervous system, it just sounds like more of a malfunction. And I decided not to pay attention to MS. I decided to pay attention to my immune system and see if I can get my immune system to act properly. And that's how it began.